Hi dulcimer friends. Last time we took a look at this small guitar bow and checked out the sounds it could make on our dulcimer. Today we're looking at a similar item, but it's this electronic EBow, and we're gonna dive in, see what the fuss is about with an EBow. I first learned about EBows a couple years ago in a workshop that I took with Jerry Rockwell. He is amazing. He does just wonderful things on the dulcimer, things you wouldn't expect. And I didn't really quite understand at the time how EBows worked, but I jumped in, I got one, maybe a little foolhardy at the time, because I wasn't really sure how to make it work. But I've learned a couple things, and I'll kind of give you the skinny on it. Let's get started and take a look and see what comes in the box with our EBow. Pretty small, compact box. And inside, we have the small velour pouch. This is just going to be a dust cover. There's really not much padding to speak of on the pouch, but it's nice to have a cover for it. And the EBow itself is one small, compact unit. No really moving pieces or parts you have to worry about. There is a compartment here to add one 9-cell battery. So once you have your 9-volt battery in, the on switch is on this side, and the middle is off. To the left is regular operation, and then to the right is a setting to use to get some artificial harmonics. So the harmonics are going to give you a chime-like sound that's almost an octave above where the regular note would be played. And on this side we have a indicator for the power. So when it's switched on, you'll get the light. And then this light you want to have pointed towards your pickup if you're using an instrument with a pickup. And we'll talk a little bit more about that later. Okay, so here's a real brief, non-technical explanation of how the EBow works. If you look on the bottom of the EBow, you can see there are two plastic rails, and then there's a depression in between the two. So the way this works is it creates a magnetic field that's going to cause vibration in the string. So you would put this down on top of the string with the string in between those two plastic rails inside the channel. As you'll see in the sound example, when you put this on the string, it takes a minute for it to cause enough vibration for the string to begin to sing. Now you can speed that along by tapping on the string or plucking it to start the vibration, and this does help sustain resonance. And as you slide between frets on that string, it does have a really nice sound, very different than what we get on the dulcimer normally. You want to find your sweet spot on your dulcimer. Now, it only works on really the middle string. I can get a little bit of sound from my melody string, but I have to hold it at a very funny angle, and it's kind of hard to keep that angle even as I play. So what they want you to do is essentially rest this on the strings. So you can see it's going to be muting the strings on the other side. But run it up and down your dulcimer. See where you get the best sound. On mine, I found the sweet spot is right in here. You want to think about this as a tool that is going to supply you with an infinite sustain, not something that's going to magically make sound as soon as it gets close to the string. All of a sudden tapping becomes a little easier. You barely have to touch the strings. This is a 3-string electric guitar. I purchased it initially because I intended to play it like a stick dulcimer. However, I found that my hands don't like going around the back of the fretboard so much. So instead, I went ahead and I reversed the strings, so now it's strung exactly like a DAD dulcimer with my bass furthest away from me. But the reason I pulled this out is because this has a P90 magnetic pickup. So we're going to try the EBow with a magnetic pickup to see if it sounds different than what we did with the acoustic instrument, which has a piezo style pickup. So I'm finding, after some experimentation, that up and down the neck of this instrument, it sounds almost exactly like it did on my acoustic dulcimer. Once we set it down, it'll take it a moment, but we'll start to get some reverberation, and now we can hear the string. The big difference is going to be the magnetic pickup. When this magnetic field from the EBow gets down here next to the magnetic pickup, we get an intensity in sound, and we get some opportunities to distort the sound, just like bowing across the fiddle strings would be. So if you picture this as your rosin to bow, as you play, you can do some really fun things if you happen to have a magnetic pickup. I believe that they have magnetic pickups that you can install on guitars, but they usually go across the sound hole. I haven't found one for dulcimer that I like yet. If I do, I will let you know. So you have to be clever when you use it. I can see that it's not something that's going to make its way into my everyday repertoire anytime soon, but it is something to experiment with. You'll have to debate to see if it's worth an investment on your end or not, but it might be worth looking into.